Welcome to Confessions of a Small Biz Mama, episode 36. How to make sure your Facebook profile isn't harming your business. Okay, so if you have watched any of my videos, if you've listened to the podcast, you know that I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Facebook. I love what it can do for your business. I love how it allows us to connect with people all over the world. I hate how people behave on there sometimes. I hate how addictive it is, right, for people. And so I want to talk a little bit today about how your Facebook profile could be hurting your business and how you can fix it so that it actually helps your business. Because if you follow a lot of the strategies out there, people talk about, how to grow your business on Facebook. And a lot of that involves networking. Okay. And, connecting with people and liking their pages and all the stuff. However, when you do that, you're always acting as yourself. And so people are naturally going to click on, your name and look at your profile. And so what your personal profile tells them in, those few brief seconds that they're looking at it is going to give them a snap judgment, whether it's reality or not, a snap judgment about who you are, what you value, and what you do. And so I want to make sure that your profile actually helps you with that. Okay. So I'm looking at my own profile. We're going to link to my profile in the show notes so that you can see, and mine's not perfect. But I'm very careful about what I put in my profile, the pictures I use, what I post, and just kind of like the image that I'm curating. And I don't think none of it's fake. I always post what I believe, but I also want to make sure that I am representing my business well when I'm on there. And so I don't fight with people on Facebook. I just don't, because there's no point, right? You're not going to change anybody's mind. I typically don't swear on Facebook. I try not to swear, in any of my videos or my podcasts or anything like that. I have my moments where, when I get really, when I get really heated, that I can swear like a truck driver, like my husband. But I think we're both really good at also saying like, this is not appropriate here. So I don't swear nearly as much as I used to. I've gotten a lot better about that, I think. And I think a lot of it is because, I have become such a public person that I've had to shut it off so much that, it doesn't come through a whole lot. So in general, I think I'm pretty careful about, the groups I associate with online, the pages I associate with online. There's basically, there are two functions for Facebook for me. Maybe three. The first one, I feel like I'm about to go into a flying circus episode, like Monty Python's coming. No, there are four main things I do on Facebook. For those of you that get the reference, enjoy. For those of you that don't, just keep going. Okay, so Facebook is the primary driver for my business. Okay, that's where I connect with a lot of people for business. This is where I do lives to talk about Bookkeeper Training School, to talk about this brand, Small Biz Mama. I get a lot of tax clients and bookkeeping clients through Facebook. I get a lot of students for bookkeeper training school through Facebook. Like Facebook is my main revenue driver right now, and we are trying to diversify that. Full disclosure, we're going to be doing more with Pinterest and Google um, in this quarter and in next year. But it is really the main driver of our revenue. Um, Second, I use it to connect with friends and family, just because it's so easy to do that and keep track of pictures. So siblings and nieces and nephews and all the things. Like, it's just a really easy way. And like friends from high school that I've actually reconnected with. So it's great. It's a great tool. I've got friends all over the country that I met through various groups who I absolutely love, and this is really like the easiest way um, to keep up with all of them. The third thing it allows me to do is it allows me to keep up with a lot of my hobbies and connect with other people who do those things. So, um, my primary like crafting thing right now is my Cricut machine. Um, and so there's lots of resources. My husband has a 3D printer, and so there's lots of groups that he's joined for that. There's lots of knitters groups, like, so if you're keeping up with anything, craft wise, hobby wise, anything like that, like Facebook is fantastic for that. It's also really good to connect with, if you're looking for moms groups, if you need support. There's Their groups are everything on Facebook, right? And so to have those communities, especially right now, right, with COVID, um, it's just so nice to be able to connect with people, even if it's just this way. And what I recommend that you do is, if you do start connecting with people this way, um, then maybe set up like some virtual meetups and things like that. Like, see if you can find anything like that, because that's really great. But so as you're going out into Facebook, and you're searching for these different communities or keeping up with people or whatnot, um, inevitably what will happen, especially if you're in Facebook groups, inevitably what will happen is somebody will like click on your name. And try this if you haven't done it. Click on somebody's name and see what pops up, because there's a box that pops up, and when that box pops up, it shows um the picture a little bit larger. It shows um it shows your name, which, remember, Facebook requires you to use your legal name unless um there's a couple different reasons why you're allowed to not use your legal name. And some of those, include, like, if you're a police officer, I think if you're a teacher, like, there are certain kind of sensitive job positions. And also, um, like, if you've been a victim of domestic abuse, if you have a stalker, there's a whole bunch of kind of personal safety reasons why they allow you to do it as well. But if you don't fit into one of those categories and somebody reports your name because they don't think it's real, Facebook can ask you to verify it, and if you can't verify it, they can actually shut down your account. So you got to be careful with that. So then what Facebook will do is, you can kind of pick what you want it to show, but for me, it shows my jobs. And so my first job, um, in my profile, when you click it, says helping moms create the life of their dreams at Bookkeeper Training School, CEO of Ingram Digital Media Inc. Um, and so that's what mine says, right, when you click on it. So that's pretty cool. Um, and so when people see it, they're like, "Oh, what's that?" And then if they click on it, um, it will actually take them to the Bookkeeper Training School page or the Ingram Digital Media page. Um, they can also click through and go to my profile and see what's on my profile. And so if you think about that, so, it's a really interesting exercise to click on your own profile and view it as, there's a couple different ways you can view it. You can view it as public, right? Which means like, what would the public see? And then you can also click it as a friend. What would a friend would see? And so it's interesting to click it as public because I think we don't think about what we post as public, um, and what we post as private or just for our friends. And so it's a really good exercise. If you go to my profile, you see, it's actually funny. There's a picture of Eric playing on a computer. That's my background image. And then one of my professional headshots. Be very careful about what you're using as your profile picture, especially as a business owner, because if people want to connect with people they like and trust, right? They want to hire people they like and trust. And so if they can't see you, um, that kind of turns a lot of people off. Okay. It's like, well, why aren't they showing their picture? And again, some people have very valid reasons to not do that. But I think if you can, as a business owner, you should. Okay. Um, so then the next thing you see, you can put a tagline underneath your name. My mom says, I help moms replace their full-time income while their kids are napping as virtual bookkeepers. Um, so I am, some people are like, I'm this person's mom, that person's mom, um, but I like to kind of have that little tagline for my business down there. Um, then I've got, my intro has, a couple different websites that I want people to go to. Um, when you set up the intro section, and you can Google how to do this, um, under the job, you can put whatever you want. So I typically don't put like, owner of or self-employed at or whatever. I'll make one up. So like for bookkeeper training school, my job is helping moms create the life of their dreams. That's my job. Um, and then so it says in my intro, helping moms create the life of their dreams at bookkeeper training school, and bookkeeper training school links to our page. Okay. So you can kind of play around with that. You can put websites on there. You can put, there's the photo box. And the cool thing with the photo box when you edit it is you can set it up so that you can put whatever photos you want to show up. Okay. And that's pretty cool. Um, and then what I would look at next is I would look at the posts that you're showing publicly. And so like if I look at mine, my last post, which is funny because I haven't posted on my profile in like a week. The last thing I posted was a printer that I really like. Um, and then before that, it's one of our wins of the week posts from Bookkeeper Training School. So I've got Kayla's post up there. I haven't posted this one yet. Then I put something about how we're rolling back into phase 2.1 in Connecticut. Then I have a post of Eric vacuuming and kind of a tip about getting your kid a handheld vacuum. So Eric's all excited vacuuming. Then I asked people about, putting up their Christmas tree. And basically who's putting up their Christmas tree really early. We did. Ours is still in progress, but it's mostly up. And then like an inspirational quote. But like if I look at mine, like, there's nothing political. I asked about skincare. That got a ton of comments. There's 88 comments when I asked about skincare. A ton of engagement. I posted a link to a Star Wars preschool workbook, a picture of Eric on his tricycle. But I'm kind of like going through looking and everything, there's some videos from some of my friends, some pictures of Eric from camping, more wins of the week posts. But looking at everything, like what I would do is I'd look at your profile, and it's like, so what do you see? on that profile? Like what will people who do not know you see, and what impression will they get of you from scrolling through? Now, I'm not telling you, don't post things. I'm not telling you to, censor yourself. But what I'm saying is you can decide what you post publicly and what you don't post publicly. You can determine what you post for maybe your close friends and then for everybody else. And so I would use that, very judiciously. Um, so I'll say this, it is perfectly okay to post about your beliefs. And I think it's wonderful when you do that. One of my favorite companies, uh, the company is it's Penzies Spices. And I don't always agree with Penzies. Their spices are fantastic though. But what I do respect about them is that they're not afraid to discuss um what they believe in. And I know that they've lost business, they've lost email subscribers, um, but I think they do a lot of really good things. And like I said, their products are fantastic. So I think the thing that I'm looking for more is not so much like I look like, are people being like, are they angry? Are they not even angry, but like mean or mean spirited? Are they making fun of people? Um, are they posting pictures of themselves acting irresponsibly? Like those are the kinds of things that I look for. Like especially if you are an accountant or a bookkeeper or a financial advisor, anything like that, people really need to trust you. Um, I think you have to be really careful about what you're posting. I tell my college students all the time, my departing uh, sentiment when they would leave class every week is, I would say, don't do anything that's going to show up on Facebook and keep you from getting a job. And I think that it's really important, don't, don't do anything that'll show up on Facebook and keep you from getting a client. I think that it's just really important. Um, and so think about that, don't post anything on Facebook um, that could potentially keep you from getting your ideal client, right? And so that's why ideal client is really important because then, like, so for me, like political posts on either side don't really bother me as long as you're not making fun of somebody, you're putting somebody down, or you're being mean. I think it's good to have political discourse. I think that it's good to have discussions with people, but unfortunately, a lot of people can't deal with that right now. They just don't have the stomach for it because there's been so much mean, right? Um, so just, go through your profile. I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to be public on Facebook. I don't want people to see my profile. I just want people to leave me alone. And I get that. I really do. Um, that's why I think it's important that you make the decision, you know, what you use Facebook for, right? Have those three or four things you use it for. Um, but you got to keep in mind that if you are going out networking on Facebook, it is your personal profile you're going to network with because the vast majority of groups out there, and groups are where all the action's happening, right? Where all the interactions are going on, do not allow pages to join. Um, I don't like pages in my groups because it no longer feels like you're interacting with individuals. It feels like you're interacting with pages, right? It's kind of like Twitter with all the bots, right? Like a lot of people have stopped interacting on Twitter because it's full of bots. Um, and so that's kind of one of the points of Facebook groups, is that it's a group of people interacting and doing things. So, you may not want your profile to be out there. You don't want to friend random people. That's totally fine. You don't have to do that. If people send you friend requests, you can send them a message that just says, hey, thanks for the friend request. I don't accept friend requests from people I don't know, but, I'd be happy to, have you follow my page, or I'd be happy to interact with you on LinkedIn. You can send them to another social media profile and interact over there instead. Okay. Just keep in mind, a lot of people interact for everything on Facebook. So it's not something you have to do, but it does impact your business. Okay, a little bit. But just be consistent too. I mean, if you're consistent, people will understand. And if you want to, what you can do, like I said before, is when you post, just make sure that, if there are things you want people to see publicly, like if you share a post from your page to your profile, right? So your page is your business page, your profile is your personal profile. Make that public. So that way, if people are looking for you, they'll see that. But then you can make everything else private. Or if there are things you want to be private, you can make those private, make some things public, some things private. That's okay. You have that control over Facebook, which is really cool. So what I challenge you to do within the next couple days is just go to Facebook and look at your own profile. You can view it as the public, and just see, what does your profile tell the public about you? Is that what you want it to tell the public about you? And if you need to, you can always go back and you can edit things and you can hide things on your profile after the fact. Okay. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope you'll go through and take a look at your own Facebook profile. And let me know, I'd love to know what your position is on friending people that you don't personally know on Facebook. You can leave us comments on smallbizmama.com, or you can go to our Facebook page and let us know what you think. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. I just want to take a minute to thank all of you that are subscribing, that are sharing. We're seeing it in the numbers. Our numbers are doing really, really well because you are tuning in, you are downloading, you are telling people. So thank you so much for helping us get out the word about the show. It is incredibly helpful. And thanks so much, mamas. I will see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Small Biz Mama with Kristen Ingram. If you'd like to learn how to create more margin in your life, please visit us at smallbizmama.com. That's smallbizmama.com.